Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Tolo podcast. I'm Lindsay and this is my husband Tim, and we are so glad that you guys are here with us. As you can see, we are in our car, and so if you're new around here, we like to take drives, have intentional conversations, really talk about what God's doing in our lives. And I feel like every single time that we would get in the car, you would agree that we would just have these amazing conversations. We would have these amazing encounters with the Lord that were so just authentic and pure. And He met us in this space. And so here we are filming a podcast from our car, which is so not normal. But we enjoy it. It's our time together and it's our time with the Lord. So we're just inviting you guys into our conversations and our space, and just hope that this encourages you and uplifts you, and just hopefully just really truly brings something to light that can really impact your life. It's not about us, but it is about the Holy Spirit living inside of us and moving through us. So with that being said, I'm so excited today. This has been a podcast that I have written and had for a moment, because it is so dear to my heart, and I feel like it shaped who I am in a good way and in some really challenging ways.
Right.
I know the same is for you as well. So, and I know that there are a lot of people, whether they listen or not yet, that they could relate to this as well.
Right.
And there's some that won't. So even if you don't, I hope that you stick around, because I'm really expecting in this conversation. So a big thing this year in 2026, that the Lord has really put on my heart, is that He is really taking me through a true healing process of so many things from my past, my childhood, thought patterns, things we thought that were good that we just never actually realized were not, and things that my parents, even trying to get help for me in my body and doing what they thought was best because of professionals, like not having enough information and not knowing, now I'm having to undo, and it's not because of them, it's just the lack of knowledge. And so the Lord is like, I'm going to heal you, Lindsay. I'm going to make you whole and complete. And I'm really believing that for 2026. I can't believe I just actually said that out loud on this. I'm not going to lie. But
so y'all be praying. Believe it with us.
With that being said, I think that's why I'm so excited about this conversation, because I really believe that, and if you've been here for a minute, you know that I've like cried on majority of these episodes. And I'm not naturally a crier. That is totally Tim, not Lindsay. And that will make sense when we get more into this topic. So the topic today is going to be all about how sports help shape our life. Or let's just say sports shaped our life and thought patterns, perceptions, identity, really. So quick recap of, if you don't know this about us, I literally grew up playing softball. In Tennessee, they just call it travel ball. We called it select on the West Coast. It's the same thing, but I played select softball since I can remember. I remember playing maybe 1 year, I don't really know, my dad would know, like 1 year maybe of like little league, and then I was like, absolutely not. I was constantly surrounded by athletes who were looking to go D1, looking to play in the Olympics, looking truly to play at the highest level that they could. And at the time when I was growing up, the Olympics was the goal. Like that was every woman's dream. And so, especially in the softball world, I can only really speak for that. At that time, I think just women in the Olympics was amazing.
Right.
And so when I was growing up, my uncle was a Division II softball coach, and he helped formulate these select teams and really bring structure to them. And come alongside families and really truly give women the opportunity, girls, the opportunity to play at the next level, to really advance themselves.
Yeah.
And he surrounded himself with people that were better than him, people that weren't at his level necessarily, but junior colleges and whatnot. And he really networked well. I mean, from my understanding, from what I saw, from what I was involved in, like, he did that well. And so, I mean, yeah. So from that, this is not a quick little intro. I grew up, I remember in kindergarten, what do you want to be when you grow up? It was like, I want to be an Olympic softball player. Like, that is what I want to be. And then I want to be a mom, and I want my husband to stay home and take care of my kids while I go play softball. Like, so unrealistic. And
I think if anybody could have made it realistic, it would have been you.
You're so funny. I don't know about that.
Jenny Finch.
Jenny Finch has done that, so hats off to her. I mean, and that was like the goal, right?
Yeah.
That was like my hero,
Yeah.
I guess. And so, yeah, I remember that softball was always like one track mind for me.
Yeah.
It was like softball and church, nothing else. Like, our family dynamic was revolved around softball or church. Everything conversation-wise was around softball.
Yeah.
Rare, and I'm not saying church wasn't, but like, it was around softball. My dad was in that world, and my mom was just such a like cheerleader. Like, that's who she was by nature. And so, yeah, I just grew up constantly going to lessons, constantly going to college practices or camps or watching college games, and going up to Canada to watch the Olympic teams play, and just really being so saturated in that. Like, knowing that in 4th grade, when we did 5th grade, we did like a wax museum like report, and you had to like be still like a wax museum, and I did Lisa Fernandez. Like, she was an amazing pitcher. She's one of the beginning softball players who just like really paved the way, I believe, for Jenny Finch. Like, someone had to go before her, and if somebody couldn't be recognized as well, I would say Lisa Hernandez was amazing, personally speaking. And so, yeah, like, I remember, like, you can't tell Lindsay she is not going to be, and at the time we did not have professional softball, so it was Olympics,
Yeah.
But in my mind, like, if boys can play professional baseball, why can't I?
Yeah.
Like, not baseball, but softball. And so I was that very driven, only softball, nothing else. And you're probably wondering, like, how did you do all the other things? I didn't.
Yeah.
Like, even when we started hanging out, like, it was like, hey, Tim, if you're going to hang out with me, you have to come to lessons with me.
Yeah.
Hey, Tim, if you want to hang out, like, we have to go to the ball field across the street and we have to practice.
Yeah.
Hey, Tim, if you want to hang out, like, I got to practice first. And even then, when we were like really dating in high school, it was like, no, yeah, this is like what we do.
Yeah.
No, like, nothing in between. And I remember being so jealous because you would be snowboarding, you would be going to friends' houses, you would be going to dances, you would be doing all these things, and I'm over here like, how can I perfect being a softball player?
Yeah.
And
That's good.
so for me, it was definitely something that shaped who I am today.
Yeah.
And
How quickly do you remember, like, feeling the pressure of that? Or, like, when did you recognize, like, I guess, when did it start to drift from, like, being a passion and a love? Or did it ever? Or was it?
Okay, so I think I have 2 answers to that. When I knew that it was serious, like, this is what you do, was when I started playing basketball, which would have been in 4th grade. I got asked to play on our school basketball team, and I remember, I'm like, I don't even know how to play basketball. Like, I was like, I don't know anything about basketball. Like, well, that's not true. I'd gone to, like, professional basketball games, but it wasn't like I cared. I just went because I was like, oh, this is cool, you know. It was something that my mind could like kind of check out
Right.
and not have to engage, but like still know the competitive side of it.
Yeah.
And so then when I played, I realized, oh my goodness, this is fun. Like I was trying so hard to be competitive and I couldn't. It was like there was something in me that was like, this is too fun. It's like fun competitive.
Yeah.
And I don't even know that people are going to understand this fully because I feel weird saying it. Like, there's only competitive. Like, what do you mean? And it's like, no, it just was like different mentally and physically for me, and emotionally. Like, it was just something that I could like do. And sure, I'd get upset with myself, but it was like, I knew it wasn't my sport I was going to go to college for. I knew it wasn't my sport that I like had to put a lot of effort in. I never remember practicing outside of practice for basketball. Like if I practiced, it was because I went to like open gym at the church, or I was at your house and you happened to be outside playing basketball. Like it wasn't like an intentional, I knew I had to do this.
Yeah.
This is what needed to be accomplished. It was like, okay, here's basketball, pick it up, shoot it, like
Right.
whatever. I mean, like you say all the time, I only had really one move. I don't have multiple moves. I just have one. Like, and so
Yeah.
for me, in fourth grade, I think I realized there was a difference.
Okay.
The passion is different. And then for me, I think when I realized that it wasn't a love and it was just ingrained,
Yeah.
and this is what we do, and I was numb to it, I believe was, well, I think that's a hard one because I want to naturally say my senior year. But I think that is just where God, like, that was the like pivot point, obviously, because I broke my face. Like, there were so many other things that happened.
So you think, like, realistically, in your mind at least, up until your junior year, you were still going to pursue softball like that?
Yeah. I literally think going into my senior year, like, literally August of senior year was when it hit me of like, is this actually what I want to do for the rest of my life?
Okay.
Which is kind of crazy if you think
That is
about it.
kind of crazy.
I think a little bit of me wants to be like junior year, but I remember having so many like amazing times junior year. I feel like everything fell apart senior year
Yeah.
for me. But really, like looking back, it was just the Lord really truly trying to bring things to light and really trying to like shift my mindset and my perspective. And I really believe that he was trying to just draw me in and encounter, like truly have me encounter him.
Yeah. Well, I guess I just remember, like, and obviously, like, yeah, we weren't with each other 24/7, but feeling like the workload had at least decreased quite a bit your junior year. Like, it wasn't like, and not that you were ever like cocky and like, oh, I've achieved, you know.
Yeah.
But I did feel like there was kind of this sense of like, yeah, not like it was all the other years of like,
Yeah.
2 times a week we're pitching, you know,
I think that
2 times a week practice and hitting, like.
Yeah, because I think in my junior year, that's when Chris Davis was my coach, like my head coach. And I really think it's because he set the stage, whether he knew that God was using him or not, but he was setting a stage for Lindsay to be Lindsay. For Lindsay
True.
finding a passion in softball that wasn't forced, that wasn't performance-based, but he truly wanted it to be because I loved what I did.
Yeah.
So from there, I think, yeah, it made it to not be this striving game of how much more can I practice to get better, but instead, because it was such a deep love for the game, when I did practice, it was so intentional that God blessed that, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I do think junior year was different.
Yeah.
Because that was the year we won state for high school. And like, as you were saying that, I wanted to so badly rebuttal and be like, I was working my butt off. Like, what are you talking about? But yeah, I do think it totally flowed from a different place.
Yeah.
Junior year was so different of like how it felt and what it looked like.
Yeah.
For sure. I will 100%, yes, get behind that. because then
because I think other girls were finding themselves as well, right? So I guess I just remember like almost the drama. And again, if anybody knows you, like you don't do drama.
Yeah.
And so like I remember, and maybe that was more of like the factor of I could almost see like this, like what's the point? Like if they're not gonna care, like, and that's where I was wondering about the pressure, because like, did you get to a place where like, yeah, you felt like you were carrying everybody and everything, that you got tired, and like, you can only be a good teammate for so long. Like if nobody's gonna try, like obviously, you would have been a good teammate, being around, and not that those girls weren't, but just at certain times and like certain things.
I think we're talking about two different teams a little bit.
A little bit, maybe.
Because, yes, I see where you're going. Because junior year, too, I think was different because of who played on our select team. It was very different. Because that would have been the girls that I would have stayed at college with.
Right.
That would have been the group that I believe, like, you're talking about different set of athletes.
Yeah.
As individuals, amazing athletes. Coming together as a team and learning, that was, I think, the biggest thing, is learning how to work together, knowing that everybody on the team was strong in their avenue. And so, because then senior year, you're talking about, you know, the Morgan Clems, the Kelsey McGladrys, like you're talking Alana, like all of them were gone now. And so you're talking about us having to now being the seniors, step up into a role that like they had left us, and it was huge, like huge shoes to fill. But we knew what it took to get there.
Yeah.
But I think for high school, the drama happened senior year, where it was like, if y'all think that you can do this without me, great, go do it without me. If I'm the problem, I'm out.
Right.
I mean, I literally remember they all, outside of my coach, I mean, I still don't think she knew, because when she walked into the gym, she looked like she had just like deer in a headlight, right? And I feel like she would have had that conversation with me, being a competitor herself. But like, I remember walking in, and honestly, I think it was like it was either a Tuesday or a Thursday. Why I remember that, I don't really know. But I really think it was a Tuesday or a Thursday. And I remember walking into the gym where we always like got ready and then waited and walked out to the field together. And literally everybody on my team was in a circle, and they were like, we want to talk to you. And I'm thinking like, you want to talk to me? Like all of you, what in the world? And this is like in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
And we just won state the year before. We're supposed to go back and do it again. Like, you want to talk to me about what? Like, I know the work I put in. I know who I am on this field. Like, what in the world do you have to say to me? And not a great attitude. Like, I get that. And so then I just remember them being like, you're mean, you push us and make us uncomfortable, and you always expect us to like not have fun and just like do our jobs. And I remember thinking, am I the only one that hears this?
Yeah.
Like, y'all are complaining because you want to show up and just have a great old time, and I'm like 99% positive.
They're probably like, lady, this is high school softball.
I'm pretty sure that got brought up. This isn't the professionals. What do you think's gonna happen? Not all of us play college or want to go play college softball. We just want to have a good time in high school. And I'm thinking, okay, how many of you want to win state again?
Yeah.
Because most of those girls sat on the bench the year before and just watched and got to like partake and say they won a state championship. So I'm thinking, now you have the opportunity to be on the field and you don't even want to put the work in. Well, yeah, duh, Lindsay, that's people. Like, I can hear Pastor Shane right now. Lindsay, that's people. Like, did you really expect anything else, Lindsay? Like, I can hear him. I can hear him right now. Good Lord. And so I literally remember laughing. And I was like, if y'all think I'm the problem? And they're like, yes, you're the problem. You need to get off all of our backs. Like, and I was like, okay. I said, I'm out. And I remember that's when Darcy walked in, and I was like, I'm going home. Like, I do not have to put up with any of this. And Darcy was like, Lindsay, like, I'm like, no, I'm going home. Like, I'm not doing this. And she was like, go home. But then, like, we'll see you tomorrow.
You're coming back, right?
Right. And I remember I got in the car, and I mean, we had cell phones. I'm not so old that, like, we're not so old that we didn't have cell phones. I remember calling my dad, and I was like, I'm going home. I'm not going to practice. And I basically just, like, kicked myself off the team. And he's like, what in the world is going on? And he was like, well, you don't technically have to play high school softball. Like, you already have a scholarship. They just always encouraged us to because it looks good to do for the community, which it does. And I just remember being like, I'm going home, and then I'm going to practice. Like, I'm not doing this.
Right.
And I remember I got home, and that night he was talking to me, and he was just like, I've never let you quit anything, especially mid-season, but, like, yeah, you don't have to do this. And it was this weird time of, like, this is the one time you're telling me I can quit something? Okay, fine. I might as well quit it. Like, I mean, I was working.
Yeah.
Like, there was no, at this point, I'm playing select softball. I do not have to go to this high school softball. I don't have to participate in this. And so I remember the next day I was like, I'm not going to school. And my dad was like, okay.
Okay, you can't drop out.
And he did, like, because I was like, I'm not dealing with this because I know what's coming.
Yeah.
And I remember I didn't go to school, and he let me, which, again, so out of character for my dad, as a single dad too. And I remember being at home, and I will never forget, I get a knock on the door, and I open the door, and it is our AD and my principal. And I'm like, what? Like, I have an excused absence. Why are you here? And they both are like, you have got to come back. Like, what is going on? And I'm like, I don't have to. Like, I mean, I have to come to school.
Typical Lindsay.
But I don't have to play softball. And so, you know, like, Miss Vanderveen, true Miss Vanderveen fashion, at the time she had a daughter that was a lot younger than me. And she was like, you know, what is Riley going to think if this is what you do? And I was like, you can't play that card with me. Like, absolutely not. And I remember Clem, you know, we're talking about a big time baseball guy. I'm pretty sure he played in the minor leagues. I don't think he ever played in the major leagues, but his son played in the major leagues, I believe.
I know he played at the University of Washington. Is that Clem?
Yeah, maybe he played in
sure
the minor.
He got drafted.
Anyway, big baseball guy, like, is still a coach to this day. Amazing coach at that. Big baseball guy. And he was just like, Lindsay, I think you'll regret this for the rest of your life. Like, how are you representing your school? How are you representing yourself? And really, the whole time I just felt like, you guys have to do this. Like, great. I hear you, but, like, that doesn't have to change my mind. Okay. And I remember they left, and I just kind of was like, what the heck? And I remember Darcy calling me, and she was like, are you coming to practice today? And I was like, no, I didn't go to school, so I can't come to practice. Like, that was, like, the rule, right? And she was like, Lindsay, like, well, Dawson. She always called me Dawson. Or Linz. You have to come to school, or you have to come to practice. Like, please come to practice. And I was like, I'm not. Like, I'll come to school tomorrow, and I'll decide if I'm coming to practice or not. And so the next day I went, so this must have been on a Tuesday.
Darcy was part of the national championship team, right?
Yeah, that I watched, like, go through all of this. Like, yeah. At Western. My uncle coached, like, yes. And
so somebody who at least, I mean, knows what it takes.
100%.
Like, been there, done that. It's not like somebody just, hey, you need to do this, you know?
Right.
Like,
right.
Sees what's in you, trying to really cultivate that out of you, and shape you as a person. And
I felt like we had a special bond.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so the next day I go to school, and she's like, you're coming to practice, right? And I was like, I didn't bring my stuff. Because I knew, like, it's
such a brat.
I knew if I brought my stuff, I would go to practice.
Yeah.
So I didn't. I was like, I didn't bring my stuff. I can't practice. I literally can't practice, so no, I'm not. Make me run. Like, what are the consequences? I'll take them, but, like, no, I'm not coming. I quit. I'm not gonna, like, feed into whatever this is.
Okay, so what happened?
I went back. But
who brought you back?
I went back. My dad brought my stuff. And I think my dad's a lot like Jesus in the sense of, like,
yeah, he is.
Sure, I'll let you do this, Lindsay. Be stubborn, throw a fit. You know what's right. You don't quit on your team. And I think at that point he knew that I knew. Like, all those years before, I can't let you quit, because if I let you quit, that becomes your nature. And so it was like, by the time we get to this, my senior year in high school, right? I'm 18. And he's like, sure, quit. I mean, really, like, realistically, if we're looking at, like, you have every reason to quit. Mm-hmm. Everyone's against you. I mean, you literally got voted off your team. Not one single person on your team said, no, I think you should stay. Not one. Not one. And literally, my dad was like, you still got to go. Like, I'll let you throw your fit. I'll let you do this. But God's going to, and does this track or does it not? God's going to deal with you. You're going to have to submit to what he has.
Yeah.
So throw your fit. I feel like I do that even now.
Yep.
And then it's like, okay, yes, Lord, I heard you. Okay, thank you for letting me, like, be me for a minute. And then just realigning me and gathering me back up and being like, okay, now let's go. So, yeah, that's then good. The next day, oh, no, my dad brought me my stuff. He brought me my stuff. Whether Clem called my dad, I don't even remember what happened, but, like, somehow my stuff was there for practice. And basically Darcy told me, like, yeah, they don't understand you. And they won't. These girls do, like, hear them. They just want to play to have fun. But you're here because you feel like you're on a mission to do something and to make something happen. And you know that they all need you in order to do it.
Right.
And I was like, but I don't want to carry that pressure. Like, I don't want to carry everybody on my back. And she was like, you don't have to. But you'll be sad that you missed out on your opportunity if you don't. So can you withstand it? Okay. And so...
What governs your decision under pressure?
Wow. So then, yeah, from there... fast forward, I think probably a month later, I break my face and I never stepped back on that softball field again. So, like, and they didn't win districts. They definitely didn't go to state. And not that it's like, oh, see, but it was like, it's knowing what you can bring to the team, to the table, but not being so prideful that you want everyone else to fail because you're going to withhold. It's knowing that everybody has a part to play. Because guess what? Those girls had to learn. I was going to leave the next year anyway. So you can ride on my back all you want. But if you don't step up and you learn how to do what you need to do, this still won't be fun for you. You won't go on to do all the things. Mm-hmm. You'll still be stuck in this.
Do you still hold most of the records for the softball team?
I have no idea. I would assume so, but I would have to call Darcy and ask. I don't know.
What was your greatest accomplishment?
In softball?
Mm-hmm. In sports?
My greatest accomplishment in sports. Man, I can tell you my biggest regret.
Okay, you have to follow it up with your greatest.
Okay, fine. Thanks. It'll give me a little more time to think about it. My greatest regret in sports was not playing basketball all through high school. It was my fun sport. Senior year, it was like, just do this. But there were so many things going on senior year that was hard. We were, just trying to make it work. That was when we got in trouble, I think. Maybe it wasn't.
I don't know. We got in trouble.
Yeah. There was just a lot that happened senior year that was really like distracting. Mm-hmm. And I allowed a lot of distractions to really pull what was inside of me that I loved, that I knew that I loved. And I was so willing to let everybody else tell me who I was and identified with that instead of just walking in what I knew. Mm-hmm. And that was really hard. And then, okay, my greatest accomplishment, dang. In sports? My greatest accomplishment in sports. I think the answer that would be easy, that I don't know that I would say is the greatest accomplishment. But I think the easy one that you're probably looking for is, winning a state championship.
I'm not looking for any.
So freshman year.
Accomplishment.
Freshman year, I walked into high school softball. Well, it's just funny because to me, like, high school sports is nothing compared to, like, my select team.
Yeah, I mean,
So like,
that's why I just said in sports.
no, I know. And so, but I don't know that everybody knows that. So like, yeah, high school to me is like so discredited in the sense of like, because I knew what select did. You played high school because you participated in your community, and to make people better around you, to put what your select team, the heart of it, and like bring that culture.
But I would say like during your era, there were a lot of good, like at least each team
Oh yeah.
had some elite softball players.
Yes, in our
So it made high
community,
school,
yeah.
and especially, we guess 3A or 2A.
We were 2A at the time.
So
We didn't move up till after I graduated.
I'd say between 3A and 2A, like that. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
good softball.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if you're coming to Mount
Yes.
Vernon, there's gonna be a game. A lot of people. Cedar Woolley, and Cordis.
Yes.
It's good
Yes.
teams. And then obviously everything in the Seattle area was good.
Yeah, for sure.
Did some good stuff up in Bellingham area, Whatcom County.
Yeah. So I think for me, greatest accomplishment. Greatest accomplishment. Wow, that's really hard. Well, because I think just naturally it's the throwing well, if you don't know baseball at all, a perfect game is 21 outs. I remember my
21 strikeouts.
21 strikeouts. Sorry, yes, 21 strikeouts. I remember the first time I think it was my first game pitching. My freshman year. I want to say it was my freshman year. I could be wrong. It might have been sophomore year. Actually, it was sophomore year. Sorry. And first game of the season, we played a team that was either was 3A, so it was way bigger than us. And I threw 19 strikeouts. We lost 1-0. I went 2 for 3 at the plate. I'll never forget that conversation in the car with my dad when I called him and said, hey, the game's over, we're on our way home. And he's like, hey, how'd it go? And every time he said, hey, how'd it go, this was what Lindsay's response was, win or loss. Like, that wasn't really what he was looking for.
Right.
But again.
But your mind was like, we lost.
I said, we lost.
Nothing else matters.
We lost. And he was like, well, what's the score? 1-0. That's an amazing game, Lindsay. Like, how'd you play?
We lost.
We lost. Like, not great, clearly.
Clearly not enough to win.
And he was like, well, what position did you play? I pitched. Okay, well, how'd you do? I had 19 strikeouts. And he was like, time out. You had 19 strikeouts and you're throwing a fit? And he was like, how many walks did you have? None. Okay. I said, Dad, we lost. And he was like, well, how'd you lose? And I was like, well, I struck a girl out. The catcher dropped the ball. And when she threw it to first, she overthrew first. So she got all the way to second. And then the next girl up tried to bunt and missed. And the girl ran to third. And my catcher went to throw it, overthrew third, and the girl scored. Oh, also, mind you, a game is 7 innings. This was 9 innings. Oh, wait, no, it wasn't. It was 7 innings. Sorry. It was 7 innings. It was literally the 7th inning, bottom of the 7th when this happened. We were tied. So you're talking about worst case scenario. Like,
You won on errors.
You've got to be, and like something I couldn't even control.
Right.
And so my dad was like, how'd you hit? And I was like, well, we lost, so it doesn't really matter how I hit. He was like, Lindsay, how'd you hit? And I was like, what? I think I got a single and a double and a deep fly out. He's like, well, you should have hit a home run. I'm like, yeah, I should have hit a home run. Like, if I would have done that, we would have at least been tied, you know? But like, those were my responses.
Yeah.
It was never good enough.
Yeah.
To me. And so, yeah, for me, that's really hard because there were multiple times I got, 17, 18. I mean, it was very common for me to
15
be.
plus.
Yes. I don't know that I threw a perfect game. I might have thrown a perfect game before. Honestly, I think I did, but I can't 100%. I would have to go back in all the newspapers my mom saved.
I just saw them the other day, too.
So, I mean, I might have thrown a perfect game. I've thrown a lot of one-hitters. I mean, yeah, I could go on and on of, like, those things that would be easy, but I don't know that those would be my greatest accomplishments.
Yeah.
One that sticks out to me that is going to be very contradictory is I feel like one of my greatest accomplishments was after I broke my face when we went to Bend, Oregon. Um, that whole weekend, I was just wrecked completely. It was my first weekend back. My parents came, you came.
Mm-hmm.
We rode down with Chris. We had a very emotional conversation. Just a lot of hurt had come up. And yeah, he was like, we're going to face it. We're going to confront it. I think that's where I got most of my confronting spirit from, because he was like, no, we never just leave things like that. Like,
Yeah.
we're going to work through things. He was always like that. And so, yeah, so then I just felt like that weekend when I stepped on the field, I was so scared. I broke my face. Um, emotionally, there's so many things happening. And I just remember he was like, you're pitching the first game. So I think my greatest accomplishment was that I went out there
Yeah.
and faced a fear.
Yeah.
Now, it was not easy at all. I remember struck out or walked the first girl. I think I hit the second girl. Struck out the next girl. The next girl hit a ball right back at me, literally at my face, and I caught it. And I remember I looked at Chris and I said, I'm done. Take me off this field right now. And I knew better than to actually like get out of the circle and walk off the field. But I was like, take me off this field right now. I'm done. I did what you asked. And he was like, finish it. You're going to finish it. Strike her out then. And I remember just being so angry. Like, you're making me do this and you have no idea. Well, the funny thing is he knew. He does know. Like, I know his story. So he had so many injuries and coming back and whatnot. And so in that, I think just proving to myself that I can do something hard and prove to myself that I was worthy of my physical ability.
Yeah.
Another one I think would just be, being at college and knowing like I could be there academically and as an athlete, and knowing that when I left, there was no regret of like, I couldn't have done it.
Yeah.
I think in the softball world, a lot of my like quote unquote accomplishments would have been, again, ironic in the sense of really feeling like they were always in games where we were in a deficit, or maybe I wasn't playing my best game. But just the mental capacity and linking arms with girls that you knew had your back. And I didn't have to question it.
Yeah. That's good.
We all knew what we were there to do. And like, most of the time I wasn't mad at my performance because, and maybe you can help me articulate this, but like, because of how I played, it was like how I let my team down.
Yeah.
And I think we all really truly operated in that. It was like, if one of us was on a high, it was like we wanted to celebrate them big. We wanted to be with them. Like, there was nothing that anybody could do to ruin their high moment. But if they were low, you better believe it. Like, you're better than that. Like, come on, let's get to work.
Yeah.
We weren't allowed to wallow in self-pity and be frustrated because we had a bad day. Like, okay, great, you're not on.
Right.
That's fine, but cheer your teammates on.
Right.
You're always here to be a teammate first.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really hard question for me to answer.
Yeah. Well, I think, when you look back and you start to talk about like the culture that you were surrounded in that world.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Chris Davis and just the amazing coaches that you got to be around. Yeah. I think very early, everything was like a standard.
Yeah.
So from the way that you dressed and,
Yes.
your ball bag and the way you step onto a field, like there is so much more mentally in that, and now we've learned, right, like almost spiritually behind presence
Yeah.
how you conduct yourself, the standard that you're willing to hold,
Mm-hmm.
the level of excellence that you want to operate in.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, as that was ingrained in you at such a young age, like, it stuck, you know? So, like,
Yeah.
you know that, like you said, it's okay to have bad days, off days, but here's the things that you can control that don't have to waver based on just how you feel.
Right.
Um, yeah, it really begins to set you apart. So, yeah, when we think about sports and how they shape our lives, like, yeah, they teach you things of how you're going to grow up and how you're going to operate in this world.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how you become a person of high integrity and attitude. And I love it because right now, you know, I have the opportunity to help Bentley and the Upper Cumberland Rams, you know, being their character coach, teach them the things that this is what sports can teach you.
Right.
Sometimes we get so obsessed or just, you know, focused on, yeah, the accolades and the playing part. If we're not careful, we miss the.
Well, I think I can attest to, I mean, obviously I believe in God.
Yeah.
And I will strongly forever stand on this truth until he decides to tell me it's not. That I lost focus of, I was losing myself to a game, to performance, to, and I mean, we're married now and great, but like to you, I was so distracted by everything else that my desire for the Lord and my gratefulness for what he put inside me, that I was longing for him to cultivate but didn't know. I thought, oh, I'll just play softball, this is my gift, like this is just what you do, and totally like churchy cliches all over it. And it was like, as soon as the Lord was like, but you're so over here because of this, I got to bring you back over here. So I know the family joke has always been like, oh, God literally hit me in the face. But like, no, I believe that. That is not a joke.
Right.
Like, I fully believe that the Lord knew, like, you are so off right now. And I gave you this talent and ability, but you are not using it for how I need you to use it for what I have for you in the future. So guess what? I love you enough to say, we're going to shake some things up.
Right.
We're going to make you press into something in a different way. So yeah, I mean, after I broke my face, I was home for 6 weeks. I couldn't even go to my high school. I couldn't step on campus until I literally, the day I graduated, and I almost didn't graduate.
Yeah.
Because of a broken face, like something I couldn't even control.
Right.
And God was so good in that to just teach me how to press into things in a different way.
Yeah.
And he was forming, I believe the whole time, he was teaching me how to be a leader.
Yeah.
He was teaching me how to set culture. He was teaching me how to be prepared as a mom and your wife for what we're going to walk through that no one else has. And I'm saying no one else has, they probably have, but like, you know.
Yeah.
And so I believe that God gives us the abilities. I believe that God can take the abilities away. Especially when they're not being used how he designed them to. And so for me, it was that, like when I left college after one semester, it was like, I can do all these things, but God, something is not setting, like you're calling me to something else.
Yeah.
With you. It wasn't because it was too hard. I didn't leave because it was too hard. I didn't leave because the pressure was too much. I didn't leave because of financial, like I had every reason to stay.
Yeah.
I'd never had better grades. Like I desired to be there. I was around some of the best ball players, best people.
Yeah.
Like perfect culture setting.
Yeah.
People I thought I would do life with for the rest of my life. Like all of them are having babies. Most of them are already married. They're having babies. If they're not, they're almost, they're engaged. And it's like, dang, but I have no like regret of not pushing through.
Yeah.
It was like God made it so clear. And he would have done what God does. He would have been okay if I stayed.
Yeah.
But it was so much better that I left. And I feel like that is the thing that, so our son plays basketball and I love it. I love it because it's our sport that we played together. Tim was an athlete. I'm just taking over the show today. Tim was an athlete, just very different realm and world. Didn't work at it at all. So like, I mean, he just was
Whoa.
good and like, I mean, like, you naturally did have a gift, but if you would have just kept pressing into things more, you did practice, you did show up, you put your best foot forward. I don't believe, I wasn't saying like you're not a hard worker. You did, you outworked anyone, but you didn't put any extra effort into it.
Yeah.
You put what needed to be put in. That was it. And you know, so then you have a Tim and a Lindsay, and
I'm not taking it personal.
you have a Tim and a Lindsay, and then you know you balance each other out.
Yeah.
And so I think what I want to talk on for just a few minutes is how we're parenting Bentley. Mainly Bentley, because the girls are just starting sports, and once we get to Mateo, we're gonna have this figured out. No, I know. I'm just kidding. So I think for me, as Bentley's mom, there's so many times where I know that we could push him into the travel and the swag and, you know, your mental game and all these things. And it's like, I really felt like the Lord was like, you need to teach him the very thing that I had to get a hold of you at the end of your season. You teach him that now.
Yeah. Well, think about it, right? You have two people who literally and physically, mentally, all the things, know what it takes to get to the next level.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be easy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be the easier route, if we get to be honest.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, you obviously would help a lot more with like maybe the reckless abandons, because I knew how to like think I was full in, but like did what I want.
Yeah.
But no, I think we could literally, if we said yes to that, we could stop everything that we're doing, and that would become our life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we would regret it. It wouldn't be hard. Like, we could do it.
Yeah.
So I think with knowing that in the back of our mind, yet choosing to do it God's way, it is from the outside going to look harder, but it's so much better.
Right. Right.
And that's where I want to stay.
Mm-hmm.
I want to stay in the peace knowing that, like, yeah, the natural way that Bentley is beginning to love sports and desire the things that I think God is revealing to him is something I, like, yeah, am I, like, cultivating him and stewarding him? Of course. But, like, I think just seeing it be done so, like, organically,
Yeah.
authentically,
Yeah.
purely, is like what I love how you started this, because like it's our year of healing, and so like we can't truly receive until like this re-identification comes, this pure healing comes, this light comes in, begins to reorder our life, not to just like all the standards and expectations we knew to set, but no, God, like we surrender and submit to your way.
Yeah.
And to just walk with your kids through that, like, now it's starting to open my eyes to what's really there. And so that, yeah, like, it can't not happen.
Yeah.
Because God's in control now.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I love it. I think, yeah, I've just been going back to what I know. And then instead of pushing it in self-effort, striving in sports, that's where I think God was so good in giving me basketball, of like, you just love it, so you do it.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's teaching Bentley, like, no, we read our word, we read these books about mindsets. I'm putting him, you know, he's still reading like a basketball book, you know, about coaching. And I'm like, no, we do this because it strengthens our mind and it gets us rooted in what we know is true. And then when we have those moments, I love when we talk to him at the end of practice or games. And I love it because now he's catching on. Because he's like, the other day he got in the car after practice and he goes, okay, Mom, so this is how practice went. And I was like, okay, bro. And honestly, I wasn't really in the headspace for it. I was like, okay, let's just go home. It was a quick drive home. And he was so ready to tell me what he did to get better, what he felt like he did well individually, what he felt like he didn't do as well and what he can continue. But it was all in such a positive way. Instead of, for me, it was like everything was negative, and that fueled my willingness to continue to press in.
Yeah.
And his was so pure, and I just loved it because, like, he was ready to have the conversation. And then it was like what he saw in his teammates and where he sees that they lack. And I love it because he's best parts of both of us, because he sees the lack yet knows, and I believe this, and we've never talked about this, but I've been hearing him after he said this on Thursday night. It then took me back to some other conversations that we've had about his teammates and like where they lack, and like he knows the key to help them. And then in that too, he has helped some of them. He's given them the keys. He's like told them. He's been bold enough to like say it. And when he says it, I love it because I've had a parent come to me and say, you have no idea what your son has done for my son who's older than Bentley. And you have no idea, like the conversations we have in our house about Bentley and how he has helped our son in basketball and with his mental game. And I'm like, what in the world? And I love it too because he told me on Thursday about a conversation he had with his coach. And I was like, you said that to your coach? And he was like, yeah. And then he tells me what his coach said. And I was like, oh my goodness, like the bold, and not that he was disrespectful, but he called it as it was, not, and it was something about the team culture. It's like, this kid can set culture. He's learning. And he's walking it out.
Yeah.
Like he's done with just saying this is how it's going to be. And so I believe that he's going to be a very effective leader if we can continue to steward that.
Yeah.
I do feel like it's so, instead of working on his mental game from a worldly point of view or just an athletic standpoint, or an athlete standpoint or a coaching standpoint, I love that I really felt like the Lord was like, show him in my word. Because leaders are all over in the Bible.
Right.
So now just put a sport to it.
Well, think about it right now, right? Pastor Shane is literally teaching us how to break broke. And yeah, like, I think the principles, sure, can we apply them to money? Of course. But like, this is a teaching so much deeper of how to break mindsets that enslave you. So I think you're right. Like, and he sits in church. I mean, he's getting taught and fed this. And we don't just leave it at church. Like, no, we talk about it all through our week.
Right.
He's starting to come to work and see like a different side that like, no, we live this out daily.
Yeah.
And like, that's just going to increase.
Yeah.
The knowledge, like you're saying, and then the wisdom, he's going to be able to apply it. Because you're right. God's going to start to unveil some things, and he's going to see things rightly and clear and know how to like put people where they need to be.
Yeah.
And pull out the best in them and just be a great representation of Jesus in the earth.
I feel like one of the big things that I always thought as a kid was I was going to be a coach. Like, I want to play at the highest level, and then I want to coach. I just want to teach people. I just want to replicate it over and over again. Like, let's just do that. And like, I want to learn how to do it, and then I just want to teach people how to do it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's my personality. If I know what you are thinking. Here's the thing. If you know what it costs, if you're willing to put the work in, if you're willing to truly say like, no, this is the standard that I am willing to be at, and like, I want you to do everything to push me to that, then I'm good with it. I do struggle with people saying, I mean, hello, just go back to the whole high school softball team. Like, saying we want this, but putting absolutely no work and effort into it and just thinking by osmosis it's going to show up. Like, I don't operate like that. Yeah. And I have a really hard time with that. And I get that not everybody's wired that way. But I do feel like wishful thinking is wishful thinking.
Yeah.
Like,
I think, again, going deeper, you're not willing to agree with that's who you are.
Yeah.
So if I see something in you that is calling you to greater, I need to pull that out. Like, you almost like carry the load of like, I'm not going to just leave you there.
Yeah.
And so then, naturally, I think when you make people uncomfortable, and you shed a little bit of light on, not that they're not enough or they're inefficient or whatever, you know, like they don't have that part of them. No, it's like you do. I just got to pull it out, and it's
Right.
going to take some work.
Right.
And sure, it's not going to look just like mine,
Right.
but the Bible is very clear that we are all made in His image and in His likeness.
Yes.
So like, I want the God things in you to come out.
Right.
The integrity, you know,
Right.
the truth, the grace, the love, all those key fruit that we're supposed to produce to walk like Him and look like Him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, like, we could go on so much about this, and I love it because, like, yeah, true leaders, true kingdom people, I'm almost learning, like, aren't necessarily liked because, I mean, Jesus wasn't liked.
Yeah.
He was flipping things. He was making people uncomfortable and pulling them out of their religious mindsets.
Yeah.
Out of the things that they were so convinced that this is how it's got to be.
Yeah.
And God is raising up people in a generation to come into the earth in all realms, not just church, in the marketplace. And again, it's tying into what pastor's preaching, right? Like, if we can take these things and go apply them into places,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to have an immense amount of favor that people are going to be like, well, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then what are you going to do? Yeah, it's the Word.
Right.
It's who I'm connected to.
Mm-hmm.
It's my source.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, like, I love that because I see it a lot, and I usually overcompensate for it because I'm like, oh, you gotta have more grace. But at the end, it's just like, no, I'm starting to partner with it. Like, there's something greater within these people.
Because I think the grace comes when you see, right? It's knowing that I threw 19 strikeouts, 21 was the goal, but knowing that the grace was there of like, but Lindsay, did you do everything you could?
Right.
Did you prepare? Did you come ready? Was your mindset clear? Was your heart pure? Like, yes. Okay, then there's grace there.
Yeah.
It was just, it's different, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway, I know that was probably a lot. And for some people, they may not be able to relate. But I do believe fully that sports teach our kids so much if we handle it correctly. I think in today's day and age, it's so abused. And that is something that just frustrates me. It's a reason why, you know, I'm very careful in what we do put our kids in and how we're teaching our kids and stewarding them, because I feel like God actually called me to coach our kids, teach our kids, and really just, what does a coach do? They teach. They teach from knowing what they know, having the knowledge and the abilities. They implement it to you, and then from there they work with what they see in you and what they need to help bring out of you.
Right.
And they walk with you in it.
Yeah.
In the hard, the easy, the good, the bad, every bit of it. And so I really feel like the Lord was like, hey, I was trying to teach you something intentionally.
Yeah.
And so now just being that intentional with our children, the next step is being bold enough to be that intentional with everyone. Not everyone, because not everybody gets that access, but those in my life that God calls me to. So yeah, I don't even know how to end this one. But I guess just, this has been so good for me, and I'm thankful. And I know we've said it between just you and I that, yeah, we do this podcast and put it out there on the internet, but really it's about for our kids. It's our legacy, and it's for us, just having these conversations and having real moments. And so I just love this because I know that I'm excited to have a debrief after and just continue having that time. So anyway, thank you so much for being here. And yeah, one day we'll get it to where we're not speaking for an hour. But as of right now, this was a great conversation. I feel like we just keep getting better and better. So I'm not putting a time limit on it. But anyway, thank you so much. We appreciate you guys. I hope that you just feel encouraged. Maybe you can't relate, but there was a little bit of light that hit you and encouraged you in your life, in your walk, in your struggles, and in the places that you know that God's moving you, and the grace and ability that He has for you. So thank you so much for being here, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye, y'all.